crushing it Wednesday. They feeling undefeated. Queens of the ring like Christine Miz. If you get in the ring with Christina, you might catch a beating. Just tune in, you gon' have to see it. Stand up if you with us, if not to be seated. You seen them in every arena. Eddie and Nika, who really got something to fight for. Everybody saying they're the GOAT. Who the one that slayed the Chupacabra? Your favorite girls.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Women Crushing It Wednesdays. Yay. Before we get started, I want to give a shout out to our sponsors, Arte de Tere, that does our thumbnails and our videos, and Kush with a C that does our amazing song intro. So awesome. Y'all have to look him up and follow him because he's badass. And then, of course, to my girl, Nika. How you doing tonight, Nika?
I'm doing good. You know, we're gonna stay calm until you give us the closing remarks.
Until we get get rolling. And then Krista won't be joining us tonight because she's deep in this USA boxing streets. She's at National Pal in California, looking at our upcoming Olympians and national champions. So props to her. And then of course, Base the Kid getting up at 2 a.m. in the morning for your favorite girls. How you doing this morning? I was gonna say tonight, this morning.
No, it's tonight over here. No, I'm cool. It's only you guys could get me up this kind of time of the morning to talk boxing schedules. So yeah, let's go.
Thank you so much. You got your coffee?
No, I don't need that.
You don't need it? Okay, cool. So last week we saw a badass fight. A match between Mikaela Mayer and Sandy Ryan. You know, and I'm gonna ask you first before I ask Nika, because obviously you're over there on that side and you had a different perspective, like we have our perspective. I totally thought and think and know that Mikaela won, but there are many people that said it should have been a draw or that Sandy won. What were your thoughts, like honestly, on the fight?
No, I watched the fight. I thought Mikaela won. I had it 94, 96 to her. I wasn't actively scoring from the very start in terms of writing it down on Twitter like I usually do, but I was keeping score of the rounds, and I know what rounds I gave to what person. And yeah, ultimately, I think Sandy started a little bit slow, which I think is incredibly understandable. But you know, whereas it's usually Mikaela that likes to start slow and then maybe get a little bit of steam and then complain that she got robbed at the end. No, Sandy started a bit slow for me, came back a bit stronger to the mid-late rounds, but you know, Mikaela did enough to sort of just see herself through.
I just there was a comment there from Timothy TJ. He said, I finally came to the show. Yeah, I was about to kick your ass because you've only been knowing about the show for like 2 or 3 years. But thank you. Appreciate ya. Thank you. He is the assistant coach for USA Boxing. Appreciate ya. Yeah, same, definitely. You know, and then obviously, and I think Nika, do you agree that Mikaela did win the fight?
Yes, I do. I absolutely do. And then, you know, I could see why people might say it was a draw, but I don't really pay attention to the people that are crying. Like one troll that I'm going to address at the end of the show, doing the most. You know, you got to get over that hurt. Just because you love a fighter, you infatuated with a fighter, you gotta look at the facts. You gotta look at the film. Okay.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Like Jesus says. Right here, he put a comment here that says Ryan was overly aggressive, fighting too angry, affecting her breathing. And he also says that Mayer more volume and more boxing, and I agree. It's like, you know, she wanted to make sure she went in there and did like put more volume out, like she more normally than she does, because she's already gotten 2 fights that were really close that were called the other way. So you know, she was due.
Both legitimately though. I want to throw that out there as well. The 2 fights that she lost, that she complained about and people cried and moaned about, she legitimately lost those for doing the same thing I had said Sandy did. Started too slow with the boxing, like picking it out, and she even said it herself. oh, like, you know,
Yeah, I can see your
maybe I
point of view.
started slow, so I don't wanna give them the opportunity to do that again. So I'm gonna start faster, which she did. So congrats.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying. I can. I mean, obviously, I mean, I'm biased at times. I try not to be, but sometimes
No, you
I
don't.
see things. I
You
try
bias as
not
hell
to
all the
be. But sometimes I see things with colored glasses. So I get what you're saying. I do. And in retrospect, I look back, yeah, she started slow. This fight, she did not. But I did see Sandy in the last 2, 3 rounds really picking it up. But it was too late, you know? And obviously, we had the one judge that was like, get the judge out of there. That it was just like, what was it, 93, whatever, do the math. I don't know.
97.
Yeah,
There was
97.
93, 97, 94, 96, and 95, 95. Now,
Yeah.
those last two, cool. Although both of them, the one that scored it 90, the one that scored it 94, 96 to Michaela, gave her all four of the last 4 rounds, which I
Yeah.
don't understand because Sandy clearly won the ninth.
Yeah.
Michaela won the eighth to me. Sandy won the ninth. Michaela won the 10th. So you'd have to at least give her that. The one that scored in 93, 97 gave her, I think it was the 7th, the 8th, and the 10th, which is cool because I think I had it similar. So yeah, but all the scorecards were all over the place. Even the ones that gave it to Ryan seemed to score things that I didn't quite see myself. But
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And let's talk about everything leading up to the fight. The red paint.
Do you want to start like from the interviews that she did before these?
Yeah, Nika,
because
let's
those
start
were
from the
like being
interviews.
used as harassment and bullying and all this
Oh
stuff.
well, okay. So yeah, so I don't know if you saw it. I'm sure you did because you're a huge fan and you do watch everything that we post and everything that we do. So we had Michaela on, you know, and it was a great interview. You know, there's a backstory to everything, which makes the fight more intriguing. And you know, we were accused of being bullies and ganging up.
Because we laughed at her. Because before she got off the show, she's got a little spicy and said, a couple of things about the t-shirt selling or whatever, and we
Coach
giggled.
Flick, yeah,
And
I
we
saw,
giggled.
I saw it.
And you know, I
And I
mean,
don't care. If
but
something's funny, I'm gonna laugh.
we didn't throw dirt and mud because we respect all boxers and we just want to see good fights. So that was the lead up. And then there were some incidents that we do not condone. I don't condone. I don't care if I don't like a person or whatever. The situation with the red paint. You know, what were your thoughts when you saw what was going on?
I mean, look, honestly, first off, I'm surprised that Sandy continued with the fight. It's, I mean, when you first kind of see it, it's like, oh, what happened there? But then, when you hear the whole backstory and how there was someone literally waiting in a car with the paint, threw the paint, ran back in the car, getaway driver, all that stuff. You're like, no, okay, so it's not just something randomly that happened. It's a targeted attack. There's no reason for anyone not associated with Michaela Mayer in some way, shape, or form to do that, because what benefit does it have to them? Like, Sandy Ryan is not known in the US. She's not a big name. She's not there with a massive entourage for people to think, oh, is this a amazing star? She didn't come at him first, so it's not like, oh, it was a Peter type thing. It's an attack literally to disrupt her in some way, shape, or form. So she's going to either be late to the venue, or head's going to be all over the place, going to be worried about, just a woman generally getting attacked on the street. That's basically how it played out. So for her to carry on with the fight, first of all, was very commendable. And she didn't save the card because the card was going on anyway, but they had a main event. It was an awesome main event, but clearly that did affect her. You could see it affected her from when she was being interviewed in the locker rooms before the fight, and whether she's not a person that naturally is able to speak like fluently in terms of like just quick reactions. There's some kind of impediment that you could just see that her emotions were all over the place to the point she could barely string sentences together, which she has trouble doing it the best of times. So yeah, all of that was just horrendous. And initially, when I was thinking, I said, no, Michaela's, she's a part of that. She's done that, or she's initiated for that to happen. But the more I think about it,
Wait. You initiated what to happen? She
So-
for the
initiated.
paint.
So you believe that
So you
Michaela
believe
had
that it was
something
her
to do
that
with
did
it?
this?
Initially, I thought it's her or she's a part of it. But the more I've thought about it, I actually think there's a possibility that she didn't know anything about the situation, but a member of her team or a member of, for lack of a transparency, will say someone affiliated with Top Rank would have had some investment in that happening, because ultimately she's trying to look on this contract extension. She's been fighting abroad for the last 4 fights. Like, Top Rank, really, if we're going to be real, haven't actually invested in her much in the last 2 years. They've sent her abroad to fight over here in the UK, sometimes with no Top Rank representatives at the show. And I've been at every show that she fought at except one, which was the Jonas fight. So I know that there weren't really people around, except for the Baumgardner fight, where obviously, Christina Poncher, a couple other people came over. So you look at that and you say, well, she's lost 2 big fights now. She's basically been sent away on away sale for the entirety of the last part of her career. Maybe they're looking to cut costs. If she doesn't win this fight, what's going to happen? I'm sure that they may very well cut a boxing contract. So you want to give her every single advantage to get a victory. And how do you do that? By disrupting the other person. It's just like when people used to go to Russia or Poland or, Uzbekistan, and you might get people banging on the doors middle of the night to disrupt your sleep, or bringing fire alarms, all kinds of pranks. But I just don't think that anyone thought the prank through, that, oh, well, if we throw something on her, that could actually have repercussions. That's what I think. I think someone from her team did this to gain her an advantage, not realizing that it would be as serious as it was in the end.
You're thinking someone from her team.
Yes, I am.
Okay. So let's pause right there, because there is another scenario where people are actually thinking that maybe Sandy's team had something to do with it. But welcome, D-Style. Thank you for coming on. We have a paint expert. He painted houses with his uncle for a few months. And he looked at the 2 pictures, the one that was fresh on the tights and the naked picture of the red paint. And he has a theory.
No, I don't necessarily have a theory. What I have is the way paint just works. So if you throw paint like directly at something, right, where the majority of the paint first lands, like if it's on a t-shirt or spandex like that, right? If you unless you leave it on for a while and you allow it to seep in, right, the moment you remove it, because that area, it's very likely it's not going to have the paint, and that explains why that part of her thigh or whatever, what you want to call it, doesn't have paint on it.
Do we
have the naked
picture, Nika? So
we
can compare side by side.
She had to go up. You notice how the part above the spandex is still there? You see how that still has a red?
But
look how it drips down
her leg because she pulled her pants down. She pulled her pants down and she dragged the paint down her legs. Like, I don't understand how how.
Yeah, like I think that's very. I believe that's what happened when she took it off. It smeared downward.
It smeared down, yeah.
That's what I believe it is, and I think it's pretty clear that's what it is.
But to me, can I just interrupt you for just a second? Like, I don't even know what was the point of this picture right here, because this first one right here showed us clearly that she had paint thrown on her. But no. Let me take off my clothes and show you that I was really hit with paint. Guys, feel bad for me. Like, I'm sorry. Like, she was dragging it right here. She was dragging it. She was so.
No, I know what that picture's about.
She was dragging it.
I could tell you why. You take that picture. It's like if you get in a fight and you take a picture of the assault or where you've been assaulted, and you're showing bruising underneath. So she's showing that what she basically had to clean off in that time frame, which is what's basically, you know, why she would be late to the venue and all sorts of stuff like that. You're showing what the actual damage of the paint is. That's what I would look at and assume. I haven't looked at thinking, oh, it feels sorry for me. It's like, yo, this is what I have to now clean off of me after that situation.
I have a question.
I don't agree.
I have a question though, and this is for the whole panel. Okay, so she has the picture of her, and I'm not denying anything happened to her or that she knew anything about it. I'm not saying that. I'm just playing devil's advocate. So she walks out. She gets paint thrown on her. They said they saw someone sitting in the car, right? Someone was in the car waiting for her. Okay. Why? Whoever took the picture of her with the paint on, with her tights on, did not snap a picture of the person waiting in the car, getting out of the car, running up, throwing the paint, and then running back to the car, at least the back of the head.
Yeah, but
How come we don't see any of those
Christine,
pictures?
Christine, your phone, like my phone's locked, right? So first of all, you notice something
Android.
happening, right? You notice something happening. You're gonna take out your phone. You gotta click on it. You gotta unlock it. Okay, and then you have an app up. You gotta get rid of that. And then you gotta get the picture. You gotta get the picture thing up.
Face recognition.
And then if it's on photo, you gotta put it on video. And then you gotta like click on video, record it. Like you're not gonna get them the moment they throw the paint.
But you get the perfect pose in front of the venue with the paint, but nothing in between or after.
But we don't know how long after the paint actually hit her that photo was taken, because she may have been walking out by herself at that particular moment. Someone's maybe heard the scream and then they've grabbed the picture afterwards. If it was right at that exact moment, then yeah, but that could have been like 10 seconds after that. Whoa.
And like I said, I'm not denying.
I have a badass Galaxy and I cannot do it that fast.
But look, listen, this is
professional picture.
You don't walk to the venue by yourself. Nobody on your team is going to allow you to walk to the venue by yourself. So that raises other questions. And then we saw, you know, Kay Karoma, who I know, I consider him a friend. He was yelling, you know, that she could not fight. It could not go on, yelling at her before a big, huge fight. And at the manager, like, we're not going on. We're not fighting, you know, and she's already distraught from this paint, which I get it. It's mental warfare, you know, and that's 90% of it. Her body's ready. She knows what she has to do, but the mental has to be ready. You know, where was her team? Why were they not walking her to the venue if she was by herself?
I don't know. What I can say is someone should have expectation of not getting assaulted when they're leaving. Like I will say that, right?
Agree.
But a couple of things. So one, I don't believe Mayer herself for sure had anything to do with it, right? And I don't know if I think something else is more likely than her team being part of it, because
what do you think?
Everything. Because now, granted, I'm just going to use Sandy Ryan and her team's own logic here, right? The logic is, well, how would a random person know when I'm leaving the hotel? How would a random person just
public knowledge?
I can tell you how, because on the Top Rank website, they have a website that's Top Rank Fight Week. It lists all the times that the fighters are supposed to be at the venues, when they're leaving for their airport flights and everything. It's all listed on there.
Well, I'm talking about like knowing the exact moment Sandy Ryan's gonna walk out of the hotel, right?
If they're sitting in the car,
let me. It's gonna be juicy. Let me give it to you. Let me
give us the juice.
Right. So what I'm trying to get at is, if by using Ryan's own logic and her team and the accusations they're putting out there, well, you know who's gonna know better when Sandy Ryan's gonna be walking out? You know who's gonna know better what pamphlets Ryan is going to have access to seeing? You know who knows better than anybody else? Her trainer, Coach K, would know better than anybody else. Okay. Now, I'm not saying Coach K had something to do with this. I'm not saying he arranged it. I'm not saying he put the pamphlet. I'm not saying that at all. If somebody says that's ridiculous, well, I think it's ridiculous to accuse Mayer doing it. But that aside, I mean, he was very hell bent on let's not do the fight.
Yeah.
No, let's not do the fight. We will not fight under these circumstances.
Yeah.
And Ryan is saying, yes, let's fight. No, we're not going to do it. I mean, you would think. I mean, it's almost like you didn't want to do this fight.
Yeah.
Like, ask yourself, if you wanted out of this fight, what would the plan be? Well, it looked to me like he's revealing it, right? Now, again, I'm not saying he did it, but since we're just throwing possibilities out there, right? I think it's just as, if not more likely, that Coach K had something to do with it because he wanted to pull out of the fight. Okay, because why would Mayer want to do it? Why would Mayer risk like getting caught, right, and then like spawning her fight? Why would Mayer go out of her way to call out Sandy Ryan for months, right, and then do this, like, and with the possibility of Ryan not fighting? Why would she do all this? It could be that a coach started to feel the pressure and maybe felt we're going to just find a way out of this fight, and he did. He found a way out of the fight.
Yeah,
he was so outraged that he pulled himself out of the fight. When he abandoned his fighter.
I'm kind of gonna ride with you on this theory, but you know what, Mr. Yagami says this, and it's funny that you said this because does this help get more eyes on a potential rematch? So let me tell you, because I have the footage here. Let me see. Let me get it here. So Eddie Hearn says here, if Mayer has compassion, she'll take the rematch. And I'm like, okay, you know, they're putting the sympathy card to get a rematch or whatever. But you know, the fight I felt like was such a good fight, and it was close enough to warrant a good rematch. But for them to say if Mayer has compassion, she'll take a rematch. But nobody had compassion for Mayer. She had two fights that I felt were very close that warranted a rematch, and she didn't get it. She didn't get any grace or anything like that. Now they want her to have compassion and give this lady a rematch when her coach was like yelling and screaming in the back to stop this fight. He didn't want this fight to go on. So, you know,
well, that's the whole point. If something traumatic happens, your team is going to tell you not to take the fight. It's a natural reaction.
I'm going with D-Styles' theory, though. He might have been the one to try to stop this fight. Like this.
Yeah, okay, that's cool to go with the theory, but
why? If he did it, let's say he did it, and it's just this, you know, I'm not accusing him. I'm saying let's say he did it. Like, why should that be on Mayer to like feel sympathy and give her a rematch? Like, that's on her team because he's on her team now, right? Y'all accusing Mayer's team of doing this, but y'all don't want to.
Yeah, I guess what I'm saying, the circumstantial evidence that, if you want to call it that people are using to say, well, it had to be Mayer because how else would they know when I'm leaving the hotel room? It applies to Coach K too.
Yeah.
Right. The same circumstantial evidence applies to him, and him being adamant. Really, he abandoned her. They didn't do the fight. That's crazy.
You know, so Base, if you had to, and this is all alleged, we're allegedly saying this and that. Okay. If you had, when you think at home, the scenario in your head, you know, allegedly, who would you say is responsible? Do you think Mayer directly or someone on her team or whatever your thoughts are? What are your thoughts?
No, I've said, well, initially I thought she may have, you know, set it up, say, yeah, let's do something and not necessarily know what. But now I think specifically that someone affiliated to her has probably done it in terms of, okay, well, let's like prank her or whatever and get, you know, just sort of get her off her game, and maybe went too far, didn't really think about it. And she probably didn't know because obviously plausible deniability. You don't want to have her know what's kind of going on, but someone affiliated with her who would see a benefit of a opponent maybe being shaken or wanting to now fight angry, and you know you can use tactics or whatever. So I think it was a member or someone that maybe she may know, but she didn't have direct knowledge of. That's what I've now come to the conclusion of after a couple of days, and I came to that conclusion yesterday. After thinking, no, I think she had something to do with it.
I want to read this. It says, Ari Box, hey Ari, he goes, not only do hotels have security cameras, NYPD has cameras all over NYC.
And they've got the footage. They've got the footage of the car. They've got everything now.
Put out a naked picture picture with you with the paint on it. Give us a video, girl. Roll the footage. Roll the footage.
No, but the footage has been sent to the NYPD. They put out the statement saying that they've got all that evidence now.
Why would somebody from Mayor's team now? Granted, this doesn't mean it didn't happen, but why would they risk like jail time and to help Mayor get in Ryan's head? Like I just.
They could have paid someone. So there's a couple of dollars. Like just do something to unsettle her.
If Ryan was
Carlos
we're gonna act like it's
this. Carlos M says this, and people have said this too, that it was all staged. It was staged because maybe somebody on Ryan's team was starting to feel like, you know what? Maybe we're not going to win this fight. Maybe we're not.
I'll say that I don't think Ryan. If it was like, I don't think she knew about it.
Personally, no.
And I don't think Mayor knew anything about it. I'll just say that. I don't think that any of the fighters knew. And I think Ryan insisting and fighting, despite what happened, I believe, again, I'm not in her head. I don't know, right? And we could take what she said for face value, but her trainer, like putting it in her head, we're not going to do this, and abandoning her probably was more traumatizing than the pain.
110%. Absolutely.
But that's also not her trainer. She's been quite vocal. She's been quite vocal all throughout this. That Karoma does not train her. Flick is her trainer. He just happens to be close with Flick. She has said that all throughout, that he's actually nothing to do with my actual team. But he obviously he helped me get the team together, but he doesn't do any of the day-to-day. It's Michaela that says, well, no, obviously Flick's a t-shirt boy. So
why was he telling her like we're not gonna do the fight and all that?
Yeah, if you're not.
No, he was saying I don't think you should do it. But remember, he's friends with Flicks. He's like, yo, you shouldn't really be doing this. That's like she's already said, yeah, he helped me put the team together, but he's not a part of my team. That's what she said.
Question for all of you. I'm gonna start with you, Base, because one thing that I love to do personally, like I love to listen to the corner because I see things and I want to see if the corner on the opposite side sees some of the things that I see. We go back and we listen to the corner with Flick. What were your thoughts on the, in my opinion, non-instruction that he was giving Sandy?
Before you go, let me just read this super chat real quick. Sorry.
Okay.
Thanks, Mark Nash TV. Please match my donation to support the show. Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
All right, thanks.
So you know boxing. You watch boxing. You listen to boxing. I consider you an expert. You heard the corner. What were your thoughts on the instruction? To me, it was non-instruction. What were your thoughts?
I didn't hear a huge amount apart from right towards the end where he was saying, look, I'm not going to lie to you. I think this fight's close. You got to pick it up. That's the only part I actually heard because I wasn't really paying attention for the corner work. This was now that I don't do my breakdown show and that I wasn't analyzing it like that. And you got to remember, they done that shit after 12 o'clock your time, so that's over 5 a.m. in the morning over here. I'm not really focused on all of that. But all I do remember is he was like, look, this is close, like you need to pick it up. I think this one's close. And at that moment she started to win a couple of those rounds. So that's the only part. The motivational part maybe got to her. She woke up. I didn't really hear much from before then to comment.
Okay. Nika, what were your thoughts when you heard Flick in the corner? Did he give clear instruction, like boxing instruction on what Mayor was messing up at and what Sandy Ryan was getting hit with and how could she adjust? Did you hear any of that?
No, not at all. And is this his first fight like in the corner like that? Because I'm not
world title.
Second.
Okay.
So yeah, he might have been a little shaken up too.
Chief.
Like, if like D-Style says, I feel like if he hears Coach K telling her to like not go on with this fight, he's already in his mind too, thinking, damn, we might not, so he might have been a little shaken up about this fight and giving instructions. So I don't know. But I didn't think that he was telling her that would help her, like, besides like, oh, we're losing rounds, like you need to pick it up. And then she did a little something, but it was a little too late and wasn't enough.
D-Style, what did you think when you heard the corner?
here's the thing. We don't know. Like sometimes,
I
like
just want to know what you think. Not what we
no,
don't know,
no.
what we do know.
It's what I want to say. Just want to say. It's like sometimes, I don't know their bond. I don't know if him saying a couple of words, you could kind of get what he means. Like I don't know their connection like that. So sometimes trainers don't have to say a lot to their fighters, and their fighters kind of get what they mean and what they want to say. I from interviewing fighters over the years, a lot of have told me that sometimes they don't even know what the fuck their trainer's saying. Right? Is they getting too many instructions? Like they can't even they're trying to breathe. They're getting punched. They're tired. They're now, granted, that's why the trainer needs to know their fighter. Like I think Coach Al knows Mikaela, and he kind of knows if she's gathering that information. If you notice, Coach Al kept it very simple, right? In his instructions, he didn't over-explain like some trainers do.
Mm-hmm.
So did he do as good in the corner as Coach Al did? No. Did he do bad? I don't know. I'm not qualified to say, but I didn't hear it's just what it is to me, but he did okay, I guess.
Yeah. Thanks. I want to shout out Ari Boxing Talk. Thank you for the super sticker.
Thank you so much.
Hey, Boxing and Barbecue.
Appreciate you. Boxing Barbecue. Appreciate you. I don't see them, but appreciate you.
With that said, I think I think both of them fought a great fight. It's one of the best fights I've seen this year. One of the best female fights I've seen. So it was a great fight. I mean,
no, it was a great fight. It was absolutely badass. Would I mind seeing it again? No. But do I think Mikaela owes Sandy anything because of what happened? No, because I think she has nothing to do with it. So
here's the thing with Eddie. Like, come on, let's drop the bullshit, Eddie. Shout out to Eddie Hearn, right? No one in this boxing business does things for what did he say? To do the what?
Right.
The right
if Mayor has compassion, she'll take the
like nobody does shit for compassion in this fight.
Right.
Right? You're a promoter, bro. Show me the money. How much are you gonna fork up for this fight?
Right.
Like, and then we'll talk. Like, I think that's your role. Like at this point, like how much are you gonna pay Mikaela Mayer? Because if she's offered more money to fight Jonas in a rematch, for example, plus that's unification, then Mayer is supposed to do what's gonna get her what's best for her. The same with Ryan. Ryan's gonna do what's best for her too, but. Ryan did this fight because she couldn't do the other fights either. Like Ryan was flat out telling Mayer, you don't even have a belt. You bring nothing to the table. I have bigger fish to fry. And that's the way she was talking to Mayer. So the tables have turned now. It's just what it is. Mm-hmm. And if that's not going to make the fight, compassion. Like what does that even mean, bro?
Yeah.
Hold on. Whoa. Let's look at the other side of that just for a moment. I mean, forget the compassion thing, because if the thing is, I listened to that interview, and that's a very clickbaity thing. Yes, Eddie used that word in that whole interview, but there was more to it than just that. So that's just one thing that they've clinged on to try and throw a narrative. Outside of that, you've got Mikaela. Did she give Maiva Hamadouche a rematch?
No.
When they had horrendous scorecards in that fight on the top rank card, mind you. No, okay, cool. But she won the belt. She decided, no. Let me finish. You guys can go afterwards. You guys can go afterwards. No. But you guys can go afterwards. So you had that situation there. But then as soon as there was the Alicia Baumgardner thing, she was crying all over the place for me. Oh well, if there's any justice, I deserve the rematch. Rare. Didn't get the rematch. Okay, cool. Then she started moaning and crying about the Jonas fight, which, okay, cool. It was close. Some people felt she got robbed. Some people, like me, legitimately think that Jonas won the fight. But she's begging for the rematch there. So then now to go back to being a hypocrite again when you get the decision to say, well, I don't need to do the rematch. I ain't going to do it right now. I'm going to look for belts. It sounds hypocritical because you was crying and screaming for rematches when you didn't go your way. Now all of a sudden you got it.
But did she get that?
No, she didn't. But that's my point. She didn't give one in the very first one. No, the very first one she didn't give one when probably that deserved to happen. Then when the tables are turned, she's screaming for rematches, and now all of a sudden she got it again. She don't want to give. So all I'm saying is that's hypocritical.
And she didn't get it. So why you want her now?
And it's twice it happened to the other person as well. And she's not giving. She didn't get it. She's not giving. So it's still hypocritical.
No, but here's the thing. We don't even know if she's gonna give her the rematch or not. We don't know what's gonna happen.
I'm on the same time y'all been on.
No, but like,
and Jonas didn't give it to her. Hamadouche couldn't
No, but
give it to her.
Jonas wanted to give it to her. Jonas said, I want to give you the rematch. It
She
was
did say
Boxer.
that,
It
but
was
we can say things, but until it's the paper is signed, the ink
Yeah,
is
but
dry.
it's not Jonas's fault. It's Boxer's fault why she didn't. But having said that, forget Boxer for a minute. Why didn't Top Rank go and offer Jonas money for the fight then?
I have to agree with you.
Because remember, when I said to you at the start of this, Top Rank haven't invested anything in Michaela Mayer for the last 2 to 3 years. They've had a fight in the overseas because they didn't really want to invest money in her. If we're going to be real, they could have offered the money for the Jonas unification. It would have been a bigger fight than the Mayer fight, realistically,
well,
outside of the whole Coach K controversy, because
in
people
fairness,
saw, oh, she should have won the first fight.
And you know what? It's so sad. I agree with you because it's so sad that nobody wants to put money into these
well,
amazing
in fairness,
fights
though, like
between females. I agree with you.
here's the thing. In fairness, there's just more money in the UK right now for the female fighters. That's why she was fighting over there. Right?
Facts.
So,
Facts.
like,
But from what I heard, Ryan got more money than her and Jonas got in the other fight that they had over here. So clearly there isn't. It's who you're choosing to put the money, or who you think you're going to get the best opportunity to win.
I'm talking about interest and money generated. I'm not talking about what a promoter's putting up, right? So that's what I'm talking about. But as far as that goes, look, I hear what you're saying, but at the end of the day, right? I mean, it's the ball. Like sometimes, like the winner goes to spoils. Like the ball's in her court right now. People may not like it. They may not like the decision against Hamadouche, right? And we could say, well, she didn't give Hamadouche a rematch, and it's hypocritical because she wanted a rematch against.
Medically, she couldn't get the rematch. Just saying.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, even if we take it for what it is, right? At the end of the day, what cannot be denied about Michaela Mayer is that she's constantly like searching for the best fights, the biggest fights. That's what she's constantly doing. Like at the end of the day, and she wanted to do this fight with Ryan, and Ryan was dismissive about it at first. Like she was very dismissive towards Michaela Mayer, right? And now it may or may not like give her the same energy. We don't know, right? But as long as Mayer fights someone credible next, I'm not going to complain. If they do the Jonas rematch, I'm not going to complain. If she does a unification with one of the other champions, it just is what it is, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what she's reaching for. It doesn't mean that the rematch can happen. Like, you know what I mean? Like it down the line, it could definitely happen, or it could happen next. I'm good with whatever, personally.
Yeah. So in this day and age, it's different. So, and what I'm talking about is the mental warfare. Back in the day, when you wanted to fight somebody, you went to their house. I talked about this last show. Muhammad Ali went to Sonny Liston's house. He put his Beamers inside his bedroom, kept honking, saying, I want to fight you. We're going to fight. It's like this shit has happened. This shit is not new. People call you out. They call you names. They talk about your family. They throw stuff, I'm not going to name the names, but I have a guy very close to me that went to the UK to fight somebody, and they were calling him a monkey, threw monkeys at him when he was walking by. You never heard about it. You know why? Because it's part of boxing. This shit happens. I think that not only do coaches have the responsibility to build you physically, but they have to build you mentally. And I'm not like the all-knowing great bitch, but in my gym at home in Texas, we work on mental shit too, because you never know what someone's going to say, what someone's going to throw at you, how they're going to talk about your family. But guess what? The show must go on. And I'm not going to diminish anything that happened to Sandy, but if it was my girl, I'd be like, you know what? The bitch threw paint on you, but we're going to paint her in blood. But I'm built different. I was born in the 70s and 80s, so it's hard for me.
It's one or the other. You were born in the 70s or the 80s.
I was born in the 70s, raised in the 70s and 80s. My bad. I was raised up in the 70s and the 80s.
Okay.
Where being called names and getting beat up on the bus happened all the time. I was raised in the 70s and 80s. My bad. So, it's just like, okay, I'm not taking away. I don't know how she is mentally. I don't want to say it's no big deal. I'm just going to say that the show must fucking go on. It must go on, in my opinion.
And it did.
I wanted to read like her.
Yeah.
I think this was Michaela's. I'm not sure.
Manager.
The
Is
manager.
that the manager, PR guy? Or
Yeah,
what?
he wrote this on Twitter on behalf of Team Mayor. It says, "I'm compelled to respond to your latest round of baseless accusations. Let me be clear. No one associated with Team Mayor had anything to do with the paint assault on you or the leaflets and the alleged anonymous threatening messages you say you received. Michaela and Team Mayor immediately condemned the paint assault. We encourage a thorough and detailed investigation by the NYPD of the incident that includes a careful review of any hotel CCTV and street camera footage. Michaela and Team Mayor want the perpetrator or plural found, caught, and punished to the fullest extent of the law. Further accusations against Michaela and Team Mayor will only diminish your extraordinary performance in the ring that night and make you look like you're making excuses for the loss. You'd be better served by looking at your own corner."
You got to do the snap. Like
Kind of read her at the end. I'm not gonna lie.
snap.
Yeah, of course. For you gonna direct it and divert the other way. If what you know what's very telling about that statement? Why didn't it say further? Because he said there's baseless accusations, right? Further accusations will result in legal action. Why didn't he say that? Rather than will diminish your performance.
Well,
And
sometimes you don't need to
no,
say it because if you keep
no, but
accusing someone, then they will.
no, because in the UK it's different. In the UK, we don't have the same level of lawsuits and stuff that you guys do. But that's what I would expect someone who's innocent to be like, no. If you keep talking and besmirching our name, we're gonna sue you for damages. But no, I didn't say any of that.
I do gotta agree with you. I do have to agree. If somebody was slandering my name, then yeah, I'm gonna say that. So I do agree with that. I do. I don't know why he didn't say that.
Like if she keeps talking, then she probably will get a lawsuit on. Like if you keep accusing me, and like they're waiting for the investigation to finish up. And look, I'm sorry. Like I just feel like it's kind of funny style the way this thing went down. I don't know. There's a lot of holes in the story. And if they have the footage, I want to see it because we got naked pictures and everything. Why we can't get a little bit of the footage of the guy something? NYPD has cameras everywhere. Like Ari said, there's cameras all over the place in New York and in the like outside of the hotel because New York is crazy. So we have cameras everywhere. So to catch everything. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that's a little fishy. It is. I mean, somebody somewhere would have caught. I mean, we're in the day and age where everybody has their phone. I mean, God bless. Like somebody's dying on the street and someone has a camera out. Like there's people always with a camera and a video. You know what I'm saying? So I don't get it. At least the back of a head, the car, something. I'm just perplexed.
Ooh, Grady's petty. Grady says, just sue or whatever, Devin Haney said. Ooh, that is so petty. Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm going to touch on that for 1 second, but it's going to be a sad day in boxing when a boxer can sue another boxer because they got their ass beat. I'm just saying. That's all I'm going to say.
So I want to mention something, right? Now, I'm not saying I'm in favor of Devin Haney suing. That's not what I'm saying, right? But I just want to make sure that there is precedent for suing and there being a successful lawsuit before, right? Mm-hmm. So if you go back and now it's different, right? But Resto versus Collins, Collins was sued. Resto did serve 2.5 years in prison because Collins as you know, he took a beating in that fight.
He got hand casted in plaster.
No. In his situation, I
know that story.
Panama Lewis removed they removed
Patty, and he also had his hand wraps dipped in plaster.
Well, they deny that part, but what we do know for sure.
He admitted it. You gotta watch the documentary. I watched that documentary.
Well, we do. I think he had said he had done that in other fights, but in this specific fight, they removed horsehair and put shock in the gloves. Yeah. And that was the evidence that was used.
Have the water with the albuterol in it too, so he could open up his lungs.
Well, that's even
Yeah.
So there is kind of a precedent for suing somebody, right? And that was, and unfortunately Collins, he was never the same after that fight. But so there's precedent for that. Now it doesn't mean I agree with Devin Haney suing, but I just want to put that out there. Like there is precedent for someone suing.
I get it. There's no place for cheating, especially with PEDs. There's no place. I mean, let's be on an even playing field, or let's not do it at all. There's no place for it. I get it, and it's got to stop somewhere. At this time, for me, it just looks very weak. You got your ass beat. There was no adjustments made. There was like the percentage that was in his body, which is not good. I'm not agreeing with it. I'm not saying it's okay, but there was no adjustments made. You got your ass beat, period. With or without PEDs or whatever it was that he had in his system, it was going to be the same result.
I guess what I'm wondering is this, right? Because we got to look at exactly why he's suing, right? I get what you're saying, Christine. I do believe his ego is bruised, and that's the main reason why he's suing. But that's not what the lawsuit is. He's not suing because I got my ass whooped. The lawsuit is
he lost money.
I did not agree to fight somebody under performance enhancing drugs, and due to the fact that he had an advantage. No, I understand that, but the lawsuit, to be specific, is he had an unfair advantage, and therefore the repercussions of that, me losing, costs, and he talked about like a reputational damage, right? So in his mind, he believes he lost value and therefore millions of dollars, and he would have been offered even more money in his next fight if Ryan didn't cheat and beat him in that fight. He thinks it damaged his career in that way, right? And he's seeking money for that, right? So that's specifically what he's suing for. I don't believe there's, and I just wanted to kind of be specific about what it is, but I just don't think there's any standing, because if we do that, right, first of all, there is some plausible deniability when it comes to PEDs, right? Just with a glove, like we know, okay, that you tampered with the gloves, and we have the evidence, right, the physical evidence, we could prove it. Where in Ryan Garcia's case, one, you would have to prove that Ostrin would have the same type of effect that like tampered gloves would. That's number one. Second, so basically what he's saying is it has to be, you have to cheat plus beat me up in order for the lawsuit to take place, because then that means Cal Brook should be able to sue Amir Khan, because Amir Khan was caught with the same exact drug Ryan Garcia was caught with.
Yeah.
Now, because can Cal Brook not sue because he's the one that beat up Amir Khan? Or can he argue the same thing? Like, well, I didn't agree to fight that dude with Ostrin, so I get to sue too. Or they're gonna say, no, but you won though. You beat him up, so you don't get to sue him because you didn't take, your reputation wasn't affected by that at all, right?
Yeah. But wait, I want to add something in there, because I know everybody hates Ray Jackson on Twitter because he's a troll, but he made a good point. Like, they're saying all of the stuff about PEDs and everything like that, and we get it. He paid a fine, did everything, but if you're saying it's all about the PEDs, but then you in your camp, you're training someone who just got popped for PEDs. And Alicia, if we're being real, she was in the Haney camp right after she popped dirty. Y'all don't remember that? So I just want to say,
absolutely.
Like,
yeah, but what's that got to do with this one specific?
Pop dirty. They don't make sense.
It's like you can't do it, but we don't care if our fighters that we're training do it. But don't do it to my son.
Yeah, but that's a very dumb argument, because we're talking about one incident. See, I know what you're saying. I'm not. No, but the thing is, you're saying against PEDs, but guess what? Did she or did she not get acquitted? So that whole scenario is different. Yes, she did.
She got acquitted.
The MUCC never banned her, did they? Did the MUCC ban her? Was she suspended by the MUCC that conducted the fight? Yes or no?
Did she not? Did she have PEDs in her system? Yes or no?
Yeah, she did. And then guess what? She cleared her. She got herself cleared. She got herself cleared. Different scenario.
Her opponent deserves a rematch.
Cool, but that's a different scenario. That's got nothing to do with this fight. They're not the same thing. Well, then get us too, but that's got nothing to do with this. That's a straw man argument. That's a straw man argument. That's got nothing to do with this. That's a totally different situation. It's a totally different situation.
And she beat the fuck out of Christina. So Christina needs a lawsuit too.
Well, then let Christina sue, but that's got nothing to do with this. Why are you bringing up to try it? You're doing no, but you're trying to do it if apples and oranges.
Right after
I think
so if you're gonna be against Pez, be against Pez across the board is what I'm saying.
The point
no,
is,
I'm against Pez in the fight that I signed for.
I don't agree with anybody using Pez, but I'm saying
yeah, but guess what? But we're talking about a fight that she signed for, a fight that he signed for, where he didn't sign to fight. So that's got nothing to do with whoever's in the camp. That's a totally different scenario. Because they never said nothing about, oh, Ped's a disgrace in the sport. We're talking about you beat me up on performance-enhancing drugs. That's a totally different. He didn't say anything about Peds in the sport in general. He's talking about his situation.
Yeah,
that's got nothing to do with whoever else is in the camp.
If it's his son, it's different. But his fighters can do whatever they got to do. That's the thing.
Can I say this? I just want to say, like,
yes.
So basically, my thing is this, all right? Anytime like this gets set a precedent, all right? So that's where it becomes like, because Alicia Baumgartner's opponent, I understand the difference that Baumgartner wasn't stripped of her belt, she wasn't suspended really. I think that was a mishandling of the commission in that state.
Absolutely.
But it's still kind of fuzzy, that whole situation. And Mauricio said, okay, she did take it, but we believe her that it wasn't intentional, so we're not going to strip her.
Had it. She still had it.
So my thing is this, like, and here's the thing, like,
clearly,
but we know it was in her system, though, right? So the opponent of Baumgartner can also argue, well, I didn't agree to fight somebody with something like that in her system, right? And she affected my career. I could have been. Like if she did it, quote unquote, let's say that's her argument. If she didn't cheat, I could have been undisputed champion. That affected my career, what I could have made, moving forward. But now she hasn't even gotten a fight, so who knows what's going on with her. But I think my issue is the precedent you're going to concern. And with PEDs, we just discussed right now, Nike and Base went back and forth about a slippery slope when it comes to PEDs, right? Because we have positive tests, and we determine like, okay, well, how do we judge that positive test? Well, what does the commission decide to do, right?
Yeah. What she popped dirty for was way worse than us, Serene. Way worse.
Yeah, because they were dealing with technicalities at that point. Like, it's a very slippery slope.
It is. It
is all across the board.
And then, like, and is it?
We gotta be against Pez across the board. Not.
Do you only get to sue if you lose or get beat up? Like that's a question that's gonna, like. Let's say Haney wins this case, right? So does that mean you only get to sue if you get beat up by the person with PEDs? Or does like, what does that even mean? And here's the other thing: how can Haney possibly prove the amount of money he lost out on, right? If he would have won the fight.
Well, no, he can prove. Well, he can prove how much he's lost now, because let's not forget the purse bid. How much did they offer him for that purse bid? Like it was 1 point something million after he'd been getting $3.5 million per fight as a guarantee before then. That's a very big significant drop.
No, but there's more to it though. Right? Because if you listen to Eddie Hearn said, I mean, I would have put up more money, but he didn't want to sign with me. He wants to be his own promoter, so I let him like bid his own fight. That's the issue with that, right?
Yeah.
He needs to prove that, they would have put up the money against Sandor Martin. They would have given me $4 million against Sandor Martin if I would have beat Garcia. Maybe, but how does he prove that in court? Is what I want to know.
Well, all we got to really look at, if we're gonna do it, we have to be consistent. Look, okay, well, how much have you been making? Say your last 3, 4, 5 fights. Like, what's the general there? What have you been offered since then? And look to see, is it stable? Is it an increase? Is it a decrease? That's the only way they're going to be able to do it. But there will clearly be, well, I was offered this to fight in my last fight. This is what I earned this fight. And I earned this, that fight, and I earned this, that fight. So therefore, my reputation's gone down. I've lost money because of this supposed beating that I've taken, this loss that I've had. etc., etc. That's the only way they'd be able to prove that. But it's quite significant that happened. We all saw that happened. One
would
bid.
say that any boxing head can see that it had nothing to do with whatever was being taken, because that Garcia was taken, because there was no adjustments made in the corner. None. There were none. Any boxing head sees that that's what it was. You listen to the corner, watch the fight again, you listen to the corner, no adjustments made. He was interviewed. He was interviewed. His dad was interviewed. He said, we have to look out for the Good Night Irene. Well, guess what? You did not look out for Good Night Irene. You ate Good Night Irene. It had nothing to do with the Peds.
I want to say this. I'm not mad that he's suing. Fine, you want to sue, but I don't think that he should expect to have a rematch after you sue, because it's like if you're suing me, why would I fight you again? Like that.
But you know what? It'll be the same outcome.
Rematch after you sued me.
So Cal
it'll
Brook
be the
doesn't
same
get sued.
outcome. I promise you.
So since Cal Brook dominated Amir Khan, he didn't take any damage in that fight. He doesn't get to sue, even though Khan.
Well, no one said that. But that's the thing. You're saying that he chose not to sue. He condemned Amir Khan after the fight, but that was a choice. If we don't really have. But again, we don't have that same culture over here to sue for everything. Again, that's a very American-like culture. We don't have that. But that being said, no, I know. But what I'm saying is, yeah, but that's in America. That's not here. He's gone to an American court to sue him, not a UK
it's
court.
overdone. I agree with you, Base. It is
Lennox
overdone.
Lewis sued.
I don't like it.
Lennox sued to force Rockman to give him a rematch.
Yeah, in America, not over here. That's my point. It's an American thing. But what I'm saying is, in terms of the suing, in terms of the actual suing itself, if Cal Brook wanted to sue him, I'm sure there's a precedent he could. Well, I didn't agree to fight you, but this is a new thing. This is something that no one's really thought about when it comes to PEDs. Now, I've got other theories on the whole suing thing, but if we're going to talk about that afterwards, we can do. In terms of what Christine said, yeah, you know what? He was supposed to look out for the shot. He didn't, got caught with it from the first round. But there's a lot of other circumstances that we're not playing into the fact, which maybe also comes into his lawsuit. Although the 3 pounds, not actually making the weight, all of that other stuff, which has given him advantages. Plus the fact that now you're on these performance enhancers, supposedly. There's a lot of things there in his actual suit that I think he's got a pretty open and shut case. There's some things I don't think he's going to win on, but there's other things I think is very clear that he'll end up winning. But I think that the lawsuit is not really about trying to get money. I think it's possibly about trying to get him to actually acquiesce to a rematch under more favorable terms, rather than be jammed up in litigation.
I have 2 questions for you, Base.
I don't.
Go for it.
Number 1, if the rematch happens and everybody's on an even playing field, is it going to be the same outcome, or is the outcome going to be different, in your opinion?
I don't know. I don't think it's going to be as vicious as that, personally, because I feel like they're going to know what to look for. Remember, they fought 6 times in the amateurs. They won 3 apiece. Clearly, that wasn't happening in the amateurs.
Okay, and then second question. So he wins the lawsuit. They get the rematch. So are people going to automatically, like, miraculously gain respect again for Haney, and his stock is going to be up again where it was?
If he wins, yes. If he loses, no, then it will be even worse, because you did all of this and then you still got beat again.
Okay.
So it will be about the performance. Like, if he has the rematch and everything and actually gets to have that rematch on favorable terms, or terms that are more favorable to him, there's no PEDs in the system of any kind. You make the weight. There's no shenanigans outside of maybe pre-fight antics or whatever. Then I think it's either a different result or a different performance. But if it's not all this other stuff, well, yeah, now you really are a bitch. That's just how it is. But that all being said, I think a lot of the reason, personally, why he's actually doing all of this right now, I think his brain's frazzled by the fact that, I'm the one that got in there with someone on PEDs. I'm the one that kept getting up after getting knocked down over someone on PEDs. Yeah,
He didn't quit.
everyone
I'll
is.
give him that.
Yeah, no, but everyone is slating me. Everyone's taking Ryan's side. The drug cheat, the guy that actually took the fine and said, "All right, cool. I'm gonna give back my purse. I'm gonna take this year ban. I'm accepting my punishment." All of that stuff. The person who committed the atrocities, the 3 pounds overweight and all that other stuff. The person being racist on Twitter and drunk and talking all this madness. They're the one getting the love, and I'm still getting hated. I think all of that is just frying his brain to the point to say, "Wow, these people, my reputation's in the toilet because of him." Like, in some way, shape, or form, I got to get my lick back. And if I can't get it in the ring, if you don't want to give me that, I'm gonna try and make you give it to me via this.
I have
That's how I kind of see it.
Funny but serious question. Like I'm really curious about this. Like, because you know how social media is, you know how people are, you know how fans are. So it's kind of funny, but I kind of really want to know what you think, and I want to go around the panel and find out. So, do you think that the picture that Haney posed with P. Diddy talking about you gotta be what special, whatever, to get into these parties, helped him or hurt him?
I don't care about that because Diddy's a piece of shit. So
No,
But that happened. No, because that was before the fight. I don't think that
It
really
was
had
before.
much.
I'm talking.
Yeah, the only thing I think, the only thing
now, they're using it now against him now, and that's what I'm asking.
Yeah, but they're using it.
Anyone who's taking a picture with P. Diddy, people are throwing shit out there at this point. Like, everybody.
They're like picking pictures from, like, nobody knows what this. A lot of people didn't know what that man was doing. So if you see a celebrity, you're gonna want to take a picture with them, you know. So because not for nothing, Devin Haney has a lot of haters online for sure. Like,
I get it, but I think things like that, especially right now with him suing and the things that people are saying, will turn more people against him. And that's just the thing about social media. You know, I mean, somebody can post something about us tomorrow, and one day they love us, the next day they hate us. You know, but how is everybody going to hold up during this storm? Is my point.
Yeah, no, I think that stuff is compounding now, but I think a lot of the reason why he's even doing all of that, or in my mind, why he think, "Yo, I've got to do something," is because when this all happened, no one was like, "Oh, do you know what? Like, at least he didn't get knocked out. Like, congrats! Look at Face all out here and everything. Everyone's laughing, which obviously they're gonna do. They're gonna do the memes. Then you find out the guy's got failed these tests, and there's no condemnation on that side at all. Oh, well, yeah, well, you still got your ass beat. It was this tiny amount. So what are you complaining about? And it's like, whoa, like, how am I the one getting all the stick?
Keyshawn Davis.
No, I saw that, but that's not who I'm referring to. But I've seen people, like, everyone's like, "Oh, it's this tiny." There was no performance enhancing in there and all of that. Right?
Here's my issue with Devin Haney, though, and I get it, and look, I mean, I think he deserves credit for showing heart in the fight and all that. Like that's I did anyway, right? And I think a lot of people did. But the reality is, he was a 10 or 11-1 favorite, right? Everyone kind of got the sense that he was kind of picking Garcia, I don't think he really expected to lose this fight. It was kind of like a money grab to a certain degree. The 3 pounds, he was daring him. He was like, "Come on, you want to do 500,000 per pound or what?" And then he was laughing. When he agreed to it, right? Yeah. And then his dad was talking about, "We're going to kill Ryan. We're going to destroy this." So and look, part of the game in boxing, when you don't win, like, you're going to get rained down on you. It's that's just the nature of the sport.
Absolutely.
But here's the thing: he doesn't do himself any favors when a fighter loses and he goes on Twitter and just shits on them. Right, that's the energy Haney keeps putting out there, right? "Oh man, this guy's a shit fighter. He just lost. Oh, this guy, man, what a clown. He should give up boxing already."
That's true.
Like, so
and now he was making fun. He was making fun of one of, I don't know, was it Keyshawn Davis? Yeah, he was making fun of his. That's probably why Keyshawn's talking the way he was, because he was making fun of his ring attire. And so if you dish it, you gotta be able to take it too. So Now I remember that, because now that's probably why Keyshawn Davis is on his ass, because he made fun of fashion, his fashion in the ring. Like, who gives a fuck about what you got on? To be honest.
Well, they
So
do. All of them have given good. They all
Keyshawn
care
Davis,
about what they're wearing.
Keyshawn Davis did it. That's not a. It's you could be cute and get your
No,
ass beat. It depends on what you got on
Keyshawn wants
there.
to be fly when he gets to the ring
Obviously,
as
that doesn't
well.
matter what you
Him,
got on.
Richardson, Hitchens, like Bruce Carrington, they all wanna look quote unquote
You
fly.
can shout shit,
very
and you know
true.
you're gonna get
Very true.
backlash.
Which is fine, and I'm not talking about Keyshawn. Innit? Like that's a whole different. So them two ultimately could end up fighting. So I understand him having his say, but I'm just
Right.
talking in general. No, like there's not been many people that have actually backed the person who didn't fail the test in this scenario, and I think that's something that he's finding hard to understand. Is like how can no one give me any grace here? I'm the one getting shitted on day in day out. But he's fine, and everyone's making excuses for him. Even the people that are supposed to be in the sport with me, that are supposed to want a clean sport, are taking up for this guy. Why is that? What are they doing the same thing? Do they know? Is that the reason why? Kind of thing. I think that's what is possibly in their head. Like, well, okay, well, if you're gonna treat us this way, then we're gonna have to do something else.
So before we like wrap it up, I just want to go around and I just have a question. You know,
I want to talk about this. Wait, I just want to.
Okay, go ahead.
This right here. So, okay, tell.
Let's record an iPhone.
I don't know. What
Oh
the hell
yeah,
he
no, it's
was
an
looking
Android.
like. He
It's an
was,
Android Cricket mobile.
That's definitely an iPhone.
when they did, whoever was it, Bernie or whoever was.
It was
recording-
Bernie. It was Bernie.
Oh
Text
my God.
Bernie.
It's an iPhone 4. That's what that
He was
is.
a hostage.
Why does he look 80 years
old?
older than?
I'm like, what the fuck did they record this on? He looked like a hostage trying to get,
Like an iPhone 7, not even the Plus version.
An iPhone or something, because this
Danny,
was
I'm
crazy.
smiling.
It was
It's
so
an
disgusting.
iPhone. It's an iPhone 7. He ain't upgraded in like 15 years.
He was talking about his incident with Teofimo.
Teofimo.
And yeah, because him and his father be doing too much, and he was just saying like, it's a certain way to get fights. You don't have to disrespect fighters to get a fight. So he was kind of explaining the back and forth they had at that fight that was in. But I'm not a fan of Teo, so I wish this video was a little clearer.
I have that same Nike jacket.
So what are we talking about with regard to that?
There what?
I said, what are we talking about with regards to that situation?
I think we were like gonna debate whether it was an iPhone or an Android. I'm just saying.
Well, yes, iPhone 7. We got to the bottom of that.
Okay. But before we wrap it up, I just have one question. Just one question. I'm gonna go around. So there's a lot of shit going around on social media right now because a lot of people are wondering why Tank is fighting Lamont Roach. I personally made a post and I feel like, why not? Why not? But I want to get y'all's thoughts. Quick, easy. I'm going to start with you, Base. What are your thoughts?
I know you're going to start with me because I told you we're going to talk about this.
We're going to talk bad.
Here's what I'm saying about the fight, right? Now, don't get me wrong. First and foremost, I think Lamont Roach is a good fighter. I've watched a lot of his fights. I've watched quite a few of the recent pro box fights. He's actually been fighting a different way, a bit more aggressive, been putting some more mustard on the shots. So I like Lamont Roach as a fighter. Here's the problem. Tank Davis, yet again, is bringing up another 130-pounder into a weight division they've got no reason to be in. Okay, you could say Lamont Roach has got a shot of greatness and another world champ, whatever, but no, he's not an active participant in that weight class. It's another time Tank is bringing up a 130-pounder. And if it was just that, okay, fine, because Lamont Roach is still a champion, cool, but he wants to charge people $80 to $90, $75, whatever it's going to be pay-per-view. That's not a pay-per-view fight. You are handpicking a guy with clear size disadvantage to you in the sense of the ring. Everything on your own terms. A guy that also doesn't even have a good KO percentage. I'm not saying he can't hit, but he ain't got a good KO percentage. You got 10 KOs in 25 fights or something like that. So realistically, we know how that's theoretically supposed to play out. He's a guy that's not gonna just try and box a move. He's a guy that likes to sit close to you within the pocket, very much tailor-made for Tank to be able to counter punch. That's all fine. But to then want to charge people for the privilege of watching this fight is disgraceful, especially after the amount of good quality high class fights cards that we've had recently for a lot less money than what they want to charge. That's my issue with the fight. And the thing is, it's going to affect me as well, because we're going to have to pay for it over here. I'm not paying for it. I didn't pay for his last fight. I'm not paying for this one, because you can't, until you start fighting people in your own division, highly ranked contenders, whether it's other champions from your division or, you know, just people at least within like the top 3 of your governing body, at least. Like, I'm tired of all the cherry picking. It's another cherry pick. Yeah, if people want to talk about what Loma didn't take the fight, yeah, Loma's one person. There's 3 other champions in the weight. You could have picked one of them. There's other people you could choose. That's my issue with the fight. It's nothing against Lamont Roach. I think he's a good fighter, but he's this overmatched. He's out of his weight class. It's a hide into nothing, and it's going to be on pay-per-view for the privilege. That's my issue.
Okay. All right, Nika, what are your thoughts on this fight?
I mean, I personally know that the fights were offered to other fighters, but there's circumstances where fighters are hurt. They can't take the fight because actually the people that we want to see him fight have other fights scheduled. So if we crying that we're not getting fights, it's okay for guys to get these fights. So I'm not mad at it. I like Lamont Roach. I think, you know, this is gonna be a very tough fight for him, if I'm being honest. But what's wrong with this fight? Like, what's wrong with the fight? Like, we want fights like all the time, and that's what he's giving us. You want Tank to sit out for how long to get what? Shakur had just had surgery on his hand. Like, he's not able to fight right now. Some of these fights cannot get made, so we want fights. But I hear you on the pay-per-view side that you don't want to pay for this fight. But I mean, you're gonna watch this fight. I always talk shit about fights, and I end up watching them. Sometimes.
You know how many fights I haven't watched because I'm against them. I still didn't watch Fury Chisora 3.
Micah,
2 years later.
Wants to give you some money, so put your cash app up there.
Oh, you want to give me some money?
Take that money. We got traveling to Houston coming up for this exact fight. Put that cash app up there. So D-Style, what are your thoughts when you heard that this fight was happening? What are your thoughts?
Look, the fight sucks. Like, I'm gonna be straight up with you. The fight fucking sucks. It's a sucky ass fight. I'm just gonna put that out there. And here's the thing, Christine: if you like it, you can like it, but you cannot control what the public thinks. If people don't like it, they're gonna say it.
I'm not trying to control.
No, but she's allowed to give her opinion about it too.
What is you saying?
No. Here's the thing. But I'm gonna quote Christine. I don't understand what the big deal is. Like, what do you mean you don't understand what the big deal is? People decide. If people want to make a big deal that a very talented fighter, because that's what Tank is. Tank Davis is a very talented fighter with he's one of the best in the sport, and I want to see him fight better opposition. Let's say that this time there was a lot of circumstances, right? This has been going on for years. For years it's been going on. All right. And the guy gets pass after pass. And to answer your question, why not? Well, you could say that about any fight. Make any fight, you could say, well, why not? Like, oh, yeah, why not? But they're making money. Why not? Hey, that's a good opportunity for him. Why not? Well, I mean, it is what it is. But like, I don't want to hear why not. What I'd rather hear is, this is the fight to make. This is the one we want. This right here. Right. So all I'm going to say is the fight does nothing for me. I'm probably not even going to watch it unless it's a really good undercard. I already know what's going to happen. Roach is going to get knocked out. Right. And then they're going to, you know, talk about it. Well, what a great knockout by Tank Davis. And it'll be that. Like, that's what's going to happen. Like, I already know the story. I already know the script. Okay, Tank Davis is hunting deers in cages, and everyone's just like, oh, my God, oh, what a great – he has another deer head. Like, yeah, okay, cool, right?
Okay, question.
That's what it is.
How do we make our favorite fighters fight who we want them to fight? How do we make them do that?
That's not my job. My job is to say I don't like the fight.
So this is who he's going to fight. Most of us are going to watch it.
But my thing is, y'all want him to sit out.
Who's most of us? Who's most of us? He's doing like 200,000.
He does 200,000 buys. Who's most of us?
I mean,
that's a very select group of people.
I'm gonna watch
That's
it.
cool.
Why not? So Roach deserves this. Why not? Let him prove
But
himself. I think he
everyone
gets better
deserves
and
it.
better each fight.
All these warriors, all these fighters deserve it, Christine. They all deserve paydays, and they all do. So, like, what does that even mean? He deserves it. Good for him. I'm happy for him, but that doesn't mean I need to like the fight. Like
I didn't
it's
say
not
you
a
have
good
to like
fight.
it. You don't gotta like it. But
I
you
like
know
the
what?
fight.
If that's who he's gonna fight now, what do we do?
Yeah, but here's the thing. Here's the thing with this. So you've got, when was the last time Tank fought? It was May, right?
Yeah, I think it was
Did he
May.
fight? Right. So with him being a 2 a year fighter, he needs to be fighting better people for his 2 a year. That's the issue. If he wants to fight the Lamont Roaches and that caliber of and the Frank Martins and all of those types, then he needs to be fighting 3-4 times a year. All right, you can have those two gimmies. At least give us a fight we want to see down the line, like he did with Ryan. Hence why that fight did over 1 million pay-per-view buys supposedly, because it was a fight people actually wanted to see him in. They didn't want to see him with Frank Martin, the Ghost. They didn't want to see him win with Roach, and
I see what you're saying.
they didn't want to see him with Hector Luis Garcia either. But what people accepted that one because 3 months later the Ryan fight was happening. So they said, okay, cool, because we know that's right there, so we're gonna let you have that. But if he's going on these big sabbaticals like he'd be doing, all of them, why are we now accepting what we're going to consider subpar opposition for this level of time that you've taken out of the ring?
I see what you're saying. I do see what you're saying. But right now, he's calling the shots. He can do what he wants to do. And what can we do about it? Okay, don't buy the
but he can do what he
Maybe
wants to do because
eventually
stupid
he'll
people
feel it.
allow him to.
Right.
Stupid people allow him to do that. That's why he's doing what he wants to do. People need to start voting with their wallet.
We want to see fights. We ask too much. Like we're never satisfied. I'm just saying
That ain't true. I'm very satisfied with what I've been seeing recently.
For how long while people heal from surgeries and stuff and not make money? Like these are still fighters. They gotta make money. We want fights. Just all the fights we're not gonna love, and that's just what it is. Like
so, look, when I go to a restaurant, right, if they give me a piece of steak, I'm gonna complain about it. If the waitress wants to say, "Oh, you're always complaining," why are you complaining about the? No, I want it the way I want.
Then you don't go back to the restaurant, but people keep going back to the Tank restaurant. That's the
problem. They're not. What do you like? He's not doing that well on pay-per-view.
So look,
he's not doing mega numbers.
YSM made a good point because this is true. Plenty of fights were categorized as bad fights on paper that actually turned to be barn burners. Yes, very much so. So, we just gotta, I feel like we could complain about it afterwards if it's not an entertaining fight. I don't know, but.
Well, here's the thing.
We want fights, we're getting fights. I don't expect
you love the fight, great.
Nobody loves the fight, but we
what are we arguing then?
But can I just put this out there? Let me put this out there because we're talking about we're not getting fights or at least we're getting fights. No, guess what? What's happening the week after that? You got Fury versus Usyk. No, but I'm saying you got the rematch for Usyk versus Fury. So no, but that's the thing. If we're going to be real, who cares? Literally, who cares about Tank fighting someone that's supposedly another no-hoper when the following week we've got basically the undisputed rematch minus one belt, but it's really undisputed at heavyweight. And then you've got obviously we've got Bivol and Better Biv. We've got Bivol and Better Biv taking place in 2 weeks as well. Another fight, another mega fight. We're literally getting all of these big top quality mega fights, and you're serving us this on pay-per-view. Because there's not been one Riyadh season card on pay-per-view that you could say, oh well, it was a fight no one asked for and we had to there was fights, these have been big level fights minus the Fury and Ngannou fight, the very first one. But that wasn't, I don't know about how that was in the States. But we're getting all of these big top quality fights, and this is what you want to serve us. That's the problem. Because the landscape has now changed to getting all these big competitive fights, this is a problem. But I'm saying, but that's what the problem is now.
The fights that we want, they'll be sitting out forever. They still need fights in between the big fights that we want.
But there's other fights he could have taken. That's what everyone's saying. This is not the fight he should have been taking.
But he didn't. That's the thing. He didn't.
As well. What do you want?
But again, okay, but let's look at Ryo. Okay, but Ryo's at 140. So why are you looking at a next guy that's a different weight class to you again? fight
Because
people in your
because
weight
people
division.
wanted to deliver that fight because people have been asking for that fight. If you on social media,
Who's been asking for it?
people want that fight. Yes, they have. Yes, they have been asking for that fight.
I ain't never seen that. I'm on the socials. I ain't never seen no one asking for that fight until it was supposedly
Rico
like.
said he'll pay $90 for Chinese food, right? Chinese food. Like what's on the menu?
Christine, do you love the fight? Do you love the fight?
Rico's capping. Don't believe anything he says. Rico, when I next see you,
But let me ask you,
little
Christine, do you
troll.
love the fight? Is it a great fight?
Do I think it's a great fight? No. Do I think it's a good fight? Yes. Am I happy that I get boxing every weekend? Yeah, I am. So if Tank is only agreeing to fight Roach, and I believe that Roach and his team can figure out a way to beat Tank, I want to see it. I want to see the two styles against each other. It's not, I don't want to just see somebody that's going to totally dominate somebody. I want to see somebody that's going to like adjust to whoever's standing in front of them. I see things from a different perspective.
My thing is this: I get what people are saying. Everyone's trying to explain why. Oh, this fight's okay because look at everything that happened, right? But what you need to understand is this is a pattern of behavior. The guy's 30 years old, right? This has been going on for years now with Tank Davis. This is not a new thing.
But obviously he's still winning, and obviously we're still paying or we're still watching because we're talking about him today.
Okay. I don't know what you mean by that. With all due respect, when you say we're all watching, who's all? Like who? He's not this mega attraction.
Are you not watching?
Who's not a mega attraction?
Tank's not a mega attraction.
Are you not watching his fights?
No, he's not.
Serious right now?
Define mega attraction. Are you not watching his fights, D-Star? Are you not watching his fights?
I watch everything. I watch two pigeons like fighting in the corner of the street. I'm not a good example. I watch everything. But my point is this: the general, he does like 250, 300,000, 250,000. The only fight that did mega numbers was the Ryan Garcia fight. That's it. No other fight did mega numbers. That's just the truth. Like if Canelo did the numbers Tank did, they would call it a failure. If Canelo did 4 million at the gate and 250,000, they would laugh at it.
He is an attraction. I don't know where you pull that one up. To me, that's like
I'm naming it to you. I'm giving you the numbers.
But you said you watched. I'm just saying.
No, like we could talk about what I'm saying is.
I only speak for myself. I don't speak for everybody else.
I think I did. Thank you, Danny.
Well, all I know is this: I fight Roach, and then are we gonna have more explanation next year? Why you can't do any of the fights or what?
I don't know. Let's
people
see.
gotta want to. The big fighters want to have to fight him too. Like it goes both ways.
Loma wanted to fight him for years.
They've been wanting to fight him. Yeah, come on, you can't give Tank that excuse of all people.
With top rank,
Danny, Nike trying to go to Houston for this Tank fight. Send her more money. Send her more money. She's trying to get to Houston for this Tank fight. Send her more.
Canelo is the only name you can use to justify your statement. No one else is doing pay-per-view numbers. Tank is doing. Yeah, like come on. I don't know how you're saying he's not an attraction.
Who's nobody? Like when you say like the last fight didn't do that good. Like I mean, that's just the truth.
They didn't even put out the numbers for the last fight. It was that bad. Every other one had.
And you know how I know? Because when it's pointed out, I'm told, well, why do you care about the numbers? Well, do we care about the numbers or not? If we're going to call somebody a megastar, we got to talk about numbers, right? So that's all I'm saying.
I personally don't keep up with numbers, and I'm like maybe in the minority. I see who.
And by the way, I'm not saying Tank isn't a draw. But when you say something like he's a mega star, well, he's not a mega star.
He is a mega
That's
star.
A stretch.
Behind Canelo, yes, he is. He is a mega star. He is a mega star. Yes.
Not to me.
Well, I mean, you are allowed to have your opinion.
No, Taylor Swift is a mega star. Taylor Swift is a mega. Eminem's a mega star. Like, those are actual legit mega stars.
He's not a boxer, so why are you even bringing him up? Like,
because we're talking about what a mega star is. Mega stars do numbers across the board.
He's a megastar in boxing. Yes, he is. He's a megastar.
He's not. He's a star in boxing. He's not a megastar.
We're playing semantics.
We're talking about because we're talking about because Christine brought him up. That's why we're talking. No, we weren't talking about him before. It was Christine's topic.
The megastar. That's crazy. Like, come on.
No, it's well. Here's the thing: the bar for megastar is very low now, I guess, in boxing.
In y'all opinions. In y'all opinions.
Okay. So
he doesn't do.
You know what? We're gonna agree to disagree. We're gonna agree to disagree, and that's okay. We're gonna see how this all plays out.
We don't have to agree, but it's all opinions. It's nothing. It's everybody's. Opinions, not
Yeah,
facts.
exactly. And we're gonna
All
agree to
right.
disagree, and we're gonna see
Yes.
how everything plays out. And I'm gonna go around, and I want everybody to say their last words. And I'm gonna go with Nika last because I know she.
Yeah, I got something for.
Yeah. Okay. So, Base, thank you so much for getting up at 2 a.m. to be with us because
Yeah, we appreciate you for that.
that means so much. It really does. So,
Yeah.
last words. Where
So
can
you
people
was all the way
find
up.
you? And yada yada yada.
Yeah, like I said, this you guys is the only ones I'm legit gonna get up scheduled for this time of night. So thank you. And this I like to come on here from time to time because when I am up early and I don't have my airs and graces about me, I'm with the shits and I'm about to smoke. So we had smoky conversation with respectfulness. So shout out to you guys, shout out to the channel. Make sure you guys all subscribe to the ladies if you're not already doing so. And make sure you subscribe to my channel as well, Basic Kid, the Hardcore Casual. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. D-Style, you didn't have to wake up. It's barely, time for you to go to bed. So, but anyway, last words and
Not even.
respect to you.
Look, if I didn't even think I would be saying this, but if anyone is a bettor out there and you want to bet on a big upset, Janet Beck has all the red flags for possible upset here. He shows up to Australia like 48 hours before his fight. He's gonna have jet lag. It's from my understanding, it was like a 13-hour flight.
Jet lag is
It's
real.
the IBF, so he made weight, but he's gonna have to. There's another weigh-in tomorrow morning, and I all I'm saying is it has the recipe for disaster. Right. Yesterday, I saw the press conference. His cheeks were like sunk in. He didn't have the energy to go back and forth. Now I get that side of his demeanor, but he kind of looked like he was just ready to just get that press conference over with. Plus, we know he just struggled to make weight the last time. So I'm not saying, and then he's tweeting out he's gonna knock the guy out in the first round. I've never seen the guy so cocky. This is crazy, right? So if anything, it's worth something. I know that guy's a substantial underdog, and I'm sure the line is moved by now, given the news. But an upset is possible with that, right? Also, shout out to Shannon O'Connell. She'll be back in the ring against Mia Martin.
That's right.
It is a last-minute bout. Shannon has recovered from her shoulder that totally collapsed 2 years ago, and she recovered. It was a long recovery. She was told she would never box again by her surgeon. But somehow she found her way back, and she had a little fight a couple months ago. And Mia Macho, as you know, Alice Ghani got injured. She had a whole training camp. She was devastated. She needed an opponent, and they offered it to Shannon. She took the fight. So there you go. That's
props to her. But we built different. Women built different. Just saying.
A dude would have done it too. I'm just saying.
Nika, last words. I know you had,
All right, so yeah, I really wanted to address this super fan of Sandy Ryan who's been butthurt and has been spewing lies out here about us, which is it's nobody knows what this man looked like. So he's been very safe behind the computer. This guy right here, Women's Boxing Channel right here. He's been in our chats many a times. He's not a fan of Mayo. Fine, you don't have to be a fan. He's obviously, from the UK, and you're a fan of Sandy Ryan. But what you're not gonna do is get online and start calling us bullies because we had her up here and we laughed at a joke that she made or whatever. Fuck that. If something's funny, I'm gonna fucking laugh. All right. It's three of us up here usually when we're interviewing people. That's not us ganging up on somebody. All right. We always three people, and you never had a problem with it until your girl lost. All right. So for you to even say that I'm a crackhead, you over here sitting here looking like this, and you got nerve to call me a crackhead? Go smoke some. Are you serious? Are you fucking serious? My guy, take a chill pill and get her and get out of her ass crack. Get out of her ass crack. All right. And learn how to respect people. And for everybody in the chat, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you guys. We love you. See you next Wednesday. That's all I gotta say.
Yes, thank you for everybody in the chat. I love a proper English breakfast. I really do. I get criticized for that, but I really do. Face the Kid. That's one of my favorite breakfasts. Besides Mexican breakfast, because But anyway, thank you all.
Huevos rancheros.
I like huevos rancheros también. But thank you all for coming on. Thanks to the chat. We love to love you, and we will see you again.
Have a good night, y'all.